Hi there, writers. If you are watching this video, congratulations. You are on the final part of writing your introduction. Today, our goal is to learn how to write our thesis, and I call it a blueprint thesis, and I'll tell you why here in a second. All right, let's jump into the slides. So, our blueprint thesis is an important statement in our writing in the introduction because it sets up your entire essay. If you write this wrong, it could really damage your entire essay. So we want to make sure we get it right. And I will definitely be giving you feedback on this. So watch this video. We're going to practice and then you're going to write it. Now, remember, you have learned how to write a thesis statement. Remember when we learned Peel, the P is the prompt answer. The prompt answer we learned was a little topic sentence. And a thesis statement is just like that, except it has a little bit more in it. But we call it a thesis statement. I call it a blueprint thesis statement because when I think of an architect who is making or they're trying to build your house, they have a blueprint full of plans where they've sketched out where your closet's going to be, where your kitchen's going to be, all that good stuff. And it's kind of like that plan. Well, the blueprint thesis is also that plan for writing. So I call it a blueprint thesis statement. If you want to just call it a thesis statement, that's fine. When you are in high school and college, and I'm sure in middle school too, that is what you will hear everyone calling it in your writing. If you know how to write this, I think you're set for writing future essays and you'll be golden. All right, here we go. Claim or thesis is which side of the argument are you on? Your thesis should have are you for it? Are you against it? What's your position? What is your stance? Okay. Your blueprint thesis writing formula. So these are the parts of the formula that I need you to understand, know, memorize. One is you need to have your opinion or your stance. Are you for it or against it? So you start with that. And you also need to mention your topic right there, too. Plus the word because. Now, some of you I know could probably write this without the word because, and that's fine, as long as we kind of can establish, your line of thinking. But I think this is a good idea to have the word because it just sets the reader up. And then I want you to list your reasons in order. You want to list your reasons in order from the weakest to saving the strongest for the very end. Here's an example of a blueprint thesis. It says, as a teenager, I need a car. I need a car because it is helpful for our family and it teaches me responsibility. So the claim is, I need a car, right? That's their opinion. They need a car. We have the word because, and then the reasons in order are one, it's helpful for our family, teaches me responsibility, which is the strongest at the end. Okay? So that's a quick example. I'm going to share a few more examples with you. So when you're writing your blueprint thesis, I color coded it to kind of show you how to write it. So in red will be your claim. Blue is the word because. And then the green are all of our reasons. Now, I do want to make a special note when you're writing it, because it is such a very important sentence, please notice your punctuation. Punctuation really matters. They're like the traffic signals for the reader. Where you put your commas and your periods helps the reader to know where to stop as they're reading it out loud or in their head. Then lastly, this is so important. You guys know this rule. Whatever we write, we always, 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 always read it out loud to check for grammar. So make sure you're always doing that and get into that good habit. Okay. All right. Example one, I used a conjunction to list my reasons in my thesis. So here's my first example. Remember, I color coded it. Red is claim, or sorry, yeah, red is claim. Then I have the because in blue. The green is my reasons. Uniforms should not be required. There's my claim. Because researchers have found no positive effects on academics. limit students' freedom of expression, and uniforms are expensive. Those are my reasons. Now, on this one, I used a conjunction. I used the conjunction and. Notice my punctuation right here. I listed it and I separated all my reasons with commas. Yikes, I am so sorry about my mouse. Ugh. So there's a comma there's a comma there, and make sure that when you're listing, it's comma and, not and comma. Okay, so the comma goes before the conjunction. Okay, now here's a second way that you could possibly write your blueprint. It uses our fancy punctuation called a colon. A colon is a really cool punctuation mark because it allows you to list your ideas, which is super nice. A colon is not a body part, although I know some of you know it is a body part, but in writing, it is a punctuation mark and it looks like that. Okay. It's kind of like two periods on top, stacked on top of each other. Just like a period tells you to stop, a colon, it has two periods stacked, means you to really stop because I'm about to list. Okay, here we go. So in red is my claim. Uniforms should not be required for the following reasons. When I'm using a colon, I didn't use the word because. I said for the following reasons because the reader knows I'm about to list. Now, could I have used the word because here? Absolutely, I could have and still listed, and that would have been fine. Now, then after the colon, I numbered my reasons. Okay, so I think the numbering helps with the reader feeling like, oh, it's in a list and it makes more sense now. So, one, researchers have found no positive effects on academics. I still use my comma even though I'm listing, I still use my comma. Two, it limits students' freedom of expression, comma. And here I still use my conjunction. If you didn't use your conjunction and you just went straight to number three, it's actually okay because this colon tells me you're listing and it's still okay. All right. So I just went ahead and used the comma and anyway. Okay. And uniforms can be very expensive. I still need to stick my period at the end, even though I'm using a colon. So I want you to think about which way you want to try. This is the one that you already know how to do. This is kind of a newer way, and it's really up to you how you want to write yours. So this is an introduction paragraph example, and I labeled the parts for you. This is just the same one that I showed you. It's my uniforms one. The blue is the hook, which you learned in a previous video. The purple is the background info and the history of the topic, which you also learned in a previous video. And today, this is how the blueprint thesis fits right in there. So when you read this, this is your entire introduction, all smooth and ready to go. In this example, I did use the colon. Okay. Now, for those of you taking on a writing challenge where you are introducing the other side is called the counterclaim. Now, if you're not doing this writing challenge, you could probably skip this part because you don't need this. But those of you who are writing with a counterclaim, this is how you would write your thesis right here. Okay. So the counterclaim is the opposite side. So you would start your blueprint thesis with introducing the counter. I'm so sorry, my mouse. With starting with the counterclaim. So here's my counterclaim. Although some people believe that uniforms should be required, then a comma. So this part right here is your counterclaim, comma. It may actually be argued that uniforms should not be required. There's my claim, okay, my side. And then I listed the same thing with the colon and numbered them. So the counterclaim is just although some people believe, and then say the opposite side, comma, then you start with your side and do the regular blueprint thesis formula. Okay, if you need some extra practice, I would say do these practices or do this practice on notebook paper and try it out and get your feet wet in it. And if you need me to check for feedback, or if you want to message me and to go, Mrs. Mathai, is this correct? I can do that. But once you start writing it out, you might feel really comfortable and kind of see like, oh, wow, I am getting this. So it says practice writing your own with any of the following topics. Color code the parts of your thesis. Remember to notice punctuation, read out loud for grammar. And here's the formula. I put them right there. Okay, so the first topic is ice cream. And then the second topic is summer. You can pick whichever one you want, or you can do both, or you can do none of them. If you feel like I'm pretty good at this, I already know how to write it pretty well. Mrs. Mathai has never really had to tell me how to write a topic sentence, and I've been getting it. Okay, so it's really up to you. So try this out. I gave you the reasons and I gave you the claim for both of these. Just try it out on notebook paper. And if you feel good about it, then you can move forward. If you're not sure, you can always message me or ask me questions in my Schoology small group session, or feel free to make a Flipgrid video in the links that we sent you, and I can make a video right back to you telling you if you're on the right track or not. Okay. It would help me if you do decide to do that, to maybe do it on a dry erase board or write it on notebook paper, or present with a Google slide or something where I can actually really see what you've done and where you put your punctuation marks and all that good stuff. Okay. All right. All right. So now it's your turn. I want you to decide on which method you're going to use to write your own blueprint thesis for your topic. Are you going to do the one without the numbers, just like write it with a conjunction, or are you going to do the one with the colon method and it's numbered? Or some of you who are taking on a writing challenge, you might be introducing a counterclaim and then doing it that way. So decide on that. Then I want you to open your online writer's notebook and find the thesis section and then type it out there so I can give you some feedback. So right here is your online writer's notebook. And then this section in this color, what is this, pink or something? Not really pink, pinkish purple, is where you'll type out your blueprint thesis. So it says, please write your blueprint thesis here. Remember to check for punctuation and grammar. Read it out loud to check. So just type it in right there and you are golden. And God, ladies and gentlemen, if you have done this, and this, the hook, the background info, the blueprint, congratulations. You have pretty much just written your introduction paragraph. Woohoo! So this is going to make your drafting life so much easier because you've done all of this and tried it out. You'll just probably copy and paste into your draft next week. All right. You know where to find me if you have questions. Good luck.